Hello and welcome to another episode of the Electric Norwegian. I'm Mats. This time we're in a BYD Atto 3, which is another car from the German automaker BYD Dreams. This small, it's a compact crossover really. I think it's about the size of a Kona. It's 1.87 meters wide and 4.5 meters roughly long. And it starts at around 40,000 euros. I have borrowed it from Sarprsborg in Sarprsborg, and the first impressions are it's relatively quiet, not as quiet as the Aria, but relatively quiet, and very comfortable seats. It's 6 degrees outside, we have 84%, and it indicates 354 kilometers. So, and the fun thing is, it recognizes all the settings I had it in when I parked the car. So very often in many cars you have to reset things if you want region on high and you want that on this and you want that on, and this thing recognizes all my settings, which is wonderful. Fun interior. It reminds you a little bit of a Peugeot or a Citroën a few years ago, where they tried to be a little bit more funky and out there. Some might say it's a gimmicky interior, and it is to a certain degree. It's full of buttons, a bit like a Porsche used to be. But if you want a car, if you don't like Tesla's minimalism, then this is a car for you. You know, for instance. But does it do for 400 kilometers in 6 degrees? And the sun is going down, so it's going to be colder. Of course it doesn't do 400 kilometers, but can we do 300 then? Let's find out. You can sort of feel that front wheel drive bias. It has the, I don't know if it's the same motor, but it is the same power figures that VW uses. 204 horsepower and 350 newtons on the front, out on the front wheels here. You can sort of feel it tugging and wanting to spin up its wheels, but now it's on soft winter tires, mind you. This probably will be less of an issue on summer tires, and if you're a little bit careful, you can make it go quite nicely without spinning up anything. But it has a nice feel to it, the way it applies to power. It isn't abrupt, and it's easily judged. But most Chinese cars, they just haven't gotten the regen thing correctly. Because I want all regen on one pedal as much as I can, but I can't here. I have some, even in high. It has two settings, low or high. Even in high, it's really very much. It's enough that you get some braking effect out of it, so you can reduce your speed slightly up and down, like now, but it's not very much. But you just have to use the brake pedal more, it's not a problem. Now heat are coming. Gosh, we've been driving for minutes. This is 10 minutes, and now finally the heat is coming on. I was wondering where it was. Aha, that's good, because I've been freezing a little bit in here, and I don't want to freeze. This has a 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. According to evdatabase.org, it's supposed to have a consumption number of 186, which I must say is rather good. So if you get 300 kilometers out of this one, I think we should be pretty happy about it. It looks alright really from the front, I think. Big BYD in letters there, bold letters. And then some modern lights and fake air vents. It looks, if it had been a little bit, that hadn't been so high, it would have been a nice hatchback actually. Smart tail lights with the now obligatory beam, the LED bar, charging on the front fender there. So yeah, all in all a pretty good thing. Well, you know, it is what it is. But you have a room down here and here on the other side, and a bit of space down there. Actually, I have to move that fast. So it's not the biggest. It is automated though. But one bad thing is the opening. It's down here. This is interior lighting. Here you can change the colors, of course. Speakers, and this is the. Then you have air vents. Very nice instrumentation, shows you everything you need to know, all on one little screen. Buttons feel very upmarket, very nice. Here you have your cruise control and stuff. Here you can twist the car. You can turn the screen around, but it's a very nice feeling. The pressure of the buttons and the sound they make, and they just feel very exclusive actually. Better than in the Nissan. Does it have the same feeling that the Nissan did? No, because I really like that interior. Seats, very comfortable, very nice. They're a little bit short on here, but there's many cars are that. And you have your hair. Some might say these are some design elements that are gimmicky and stupid, and yes, they are, but they're different, and they give some life and color into otherwise what could have been a boring car, because there's a lot of traditional buttons in here and stuff, so there's not groundbreaking in any way. Plenty of space down here as well, chargers and more storage, lots of storage down here. Quick responsive screen, and you have everything is down. It's all very easy to use, very responsive, very nice. In general, I like the interior a lot. The material surfaces here are good, better than in the Toyota, for instance. There's a lot of cheap plastic in here. Everything here is mostly clad in some vinyl surfaces, and they're padded. They're not necessarily upmarket or expensive, but they feel good and they feel comfortable and they don't feel cheap, and that's important. Now, it has adaptive cruise and it has lane keep assist, but it's a little bit of a mixed bag actually. It's there, and it most of the time do a good job of keeping you in the lane, but not always. Sometimes it just casually drifts across the lane, straight onto the barrier or whatever it is. So you have to keep a bit of an eye on it. It's not perfect, but it's okay. It's, you know, at least it doesn't actively try to kill you like the one in the Opel did, which is good. So it works just fine here, for instance. It's not a problem. I do like the feel of the buttons though on the steering wheel. They really are very well weighted, and they just feel of them. Yes, you can attack it for not having a frunk, considering that it is built on the new platform from BYD, and that it has a blade battery, so it doesn't really weigh all that much. The battery is part of the construction of the car, just like Tesla does now with the Model Y. So, you know, BYD do know how to build electric cars after all. I like the screen. I like the user experience. I don't really understand why Björn always are frustrated at the Chinese cars, but I think this is good. I don't use it so much for navigation though. Maybe that's where the problem is. But then, okay, it doesn't have a CarPlay or something like that, of course. And you can use the full width of the boot, which you can't in the iX in front of us here. I got myself a coffee. I must say, this is a really strong. I like the power delivery in this one. If you don't stomp on it, and if you're rolling, you can stomp on it, and it really just goes gives you quite a nice push. It's not super quick, but it's I don't know if rapid is the right word. I think maybe it is. So if you come from your mid-length 2-liter Volvo diesel or whatever you have, or your Ford Mondeo, then this will do quite well enough, I think, for most of us. And I thought this interior would be gimmicky, but I've spent some time in it and I enjoy it. Yes, sure, the door handles, door release handles inside, it's a little bit oversized, and so are the events in an Audi Q4, and well, people still buy that. In here, they're at least proportionate to the rest of the interior. So we're at 72%, indicates 300. We're at 72%, indicates 305 kilometers. It's 0 degrees outside. No, it isn't 0 degrees outside. That's the angle of the car. What's the temperature on this one? It's 0 degrees outside. It does show me PM2.5 particles inside and outside. And also the elevation of the car, we're at 173 meters above sea level. And there's currently 0 degrees of incline. That inclinometer isn't exactly correct, because the road goes a little bit up and down there and it doesn't make any difference, but it doesn't really matter. It's all for fun. It's all for fun. Mirrors are good, with the big side mirrors, and it's softly sprung and comfortable in here. I must say that it's really nice. I like it a lot. It's a competitor to the Nissan Ariya and the Toyota fax machine and the ID family of cars, and it's different than all of them, and it doesn't support Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. Don't know why any Chinese car manufacturers don't do that, if it's just their own laziness or whatever it does, but it is what it is. The heating in here works just fine. It struggled a little bit in the beginning, but then when we got into some higher speeds, the heating kicked in, and now it's really nice and cozy in here. And the interior lighting switches color depending on, if you turn the heating on and then turn the heat up, the color goes to red, and then it relaxes once it's reached its set temperature again. Quite fun. Well, yeah, okay, side mirrors makes a bit of wind noise now. The big mirrors though, so that's natural. It's a bit of tire noise from the back, but it's not very noisy in there, can't say. No, and what there is of noise isn't bothering you. It's not like the kind of awful, tiring, droning tire noise that can be in some cars. We have had the energy graph over the last 50 kilometers reports 174 watt-hours per kilometer, which is rather nice actually. The lifetime of the car, the consumption is 193. And we've been on the road now for a bit over an hour and driven 54 kilometers. We had an average speed of 54 kilometers in an hour. Consumption numbers is surprisingly low, considering the road surfaces and so on. It's wet roads. They have done a good job on consumption here, on efficiency of it, I think. These numbers are to be trusted, and I think they are, because we're now at 59% and we still have 249 kilometers left indicated. And given that we picked the car up with what, around 85% battery, I don't think this is bad at all actually. And we've done now easily done 60 kilometers. I think we have around 100 kilometers left to go. Well, here we are then at 31% and 131 kilometers left. And we're left with around 85 or something, so give us about, we use about 50%. So 300, I think you should easily do 300, possibly even more. And it is around plus minus 0 degrees outside, so, and we have had partially wet, moist roads all the way. So I think this is rather impressive, actually. Well, while we're sitting here waiting for the car to thaw up in the morning, it's all frosted down now, running this heat heater. So we can have a good look at how the system works. Put your nav up, for instance, and get full screen. The same thing with media. This is really, and you have here map, chargers. So really you can travel around, like there for instance. You can say go. It doesn't preheat, but I don't know, I don't think it does. Maybe it does, I'm not certain. Charged up yesterday a little bit, and then it had a flat curve at 50 to 60 kilowatts, so not the fastest charging, but not the worst either. You can just go here and you can close it all off if you want to. Look, we have removed most of the ice already. So, what do we think then of the BYD Atto 3? It's a competent, nice car. It's...
For your safety, please fasten your seat belt.
Yeah, well, darling. Just gonna put it on the charger. It's nothing really serious. It's a competent little car, very comfortable seats. It's not the biggest car in the world, and it doesn't really have a massive amount of bells and whistles and stuff. But what it does have is what you need in a car. Good instrumentation, mostly good software. Okay, it doesn't preheat, it doesn't have the best travel planner, maybe. That's a fair point. That's a criticism for all Chinese cars. It does have included Spotify built in the car, which is nice. You have to share your internet to get it, but still. Now that took the fan speed down a little bit. But it's a nice place to be. It's not the biggest car in the world. It doesn't have a frunk. That's also a downside, because I mean, Volvo can build a frunk in their EVs and they're not even optimized as EVs. You know, the rebuilt combustion engine platforms. So that's a negative. But it's decent space in the back. It's decent space in the boot. A very nice place to sit and drive. The adaptive cruise is nice. A little bit maybe nervous, but I'm sure it gets better. It's not bad. It's just not perfect. It's an easy car to learn your way around, mostly. It has plenty of buttons, and there's a nice feel to everything you touch. And it does do around 250 kilometers on the charge on a day like today, with around a few degrees zero, maybe, give or take, like we did yesterday. I had a longer drive in it, and it was just fine. And it charges up just fine. Flat charge curve. Lights are good, not wow, but good enough. Better than in some other cars, Kia, Hyundai among others. Sound system is good. It's generally a good car. It's not really very much wrong with it. And in some places it's better than its competitors. Given this is the last video of the year, Happy New Year, and I hope you do like, comment, and subscribe. And please do. It's important. I know this isn't the biggest channel in the world, but still. Oh, and it's energy efficient. It is energy efficient because it's been running now an average of below 200, which is not bad at all. And thank you again to Sarprsborg for lending me the car. And thank you for watching. Have a happy New Year and take care. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.